Welcome to From Us to You live here at E3 Day 1. And I am with Mike Williams. And oh my god, we're in the same room.
We are in the same room.
Let's prove it by doing a high five. Yeah! Alright. Because, normally we're, in those little windows doing the Brady Bunch thing.
Right. Even though, we're still together in spirit.
Yeah.
But no, unlike everybody else in the industry that gets to do shows, we aren't normally together. So this is a first for us.
No, it's super exciting. But the first thing I want to do before we continue on to all of our E3 coverage is basically to acknowledge the horrible events of yesterday in Orlando. I mean, it's been pretty much weighing us down over here, but I mean, all we can do really is carry on, right? So.
Yeah, and it's very odd, especially in the face of such an event like that, to talk about games. But that is what we are here for. So. Yep,
that is indeed what we are here for. By the way, let us know if you can hear us in the chat okay. I'm seeing the little thing moving indicating that the microphone is picking us up, so I think that we're okay. But Hopefully we're not screaming into the void that is E3. But anyway, so moving on. Sunday, E3, first time, and EA was nice enough to hold their press conference just as all the journalists were getting in.
Yeah, no, and it's yesterday for me, especially if you're from the West Coast, you're probably fine. But I'm from the East Coast, So for me, it was like I got up at 5 a.m., flew in, and just powered through the day. And of course, EA decided to reward me with all the stuff I would have expected from EA.
Which was not much, right? So last year they had this big, ponderous, really boring press conference that, the nadir of which they had Pele on the stage being interviewed forever. And I'm a soccer fan. I'm like, wow, Pele. Pause. Please stop. Why are you still going? This is terrible. I hate this.
So for you, this year's at least last year with Pele, it's Pele. Okay, I understand who Pele is, but this year it was.
Not a lot. I mean, they had...
the Premier League coach guy?
Oh, Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, see? And I was I don't know coaches. I follow soccer/football, wherever you are. But I don't know coaches like that. So it was just, for me, it was just
Oh, that's a guy. He has an accent.
Good job, guy. And they tried to have some sort of human interaction on stage, and it obviously did not really work out.
I was fine, but I think it was so peak EA for Peter Moore to be like, so do your kids spend money on Ultimate Team? And Josie was like, no.
Yeah, no, it was...
And of course EA picked the most reviled manager in football. If you don't know who Jose Mourinho is, he used to be Chelsea's manager, got fired, and now he works for Manchester United. Very well known for calling out people, almost got into a fist fight with Arsenal's manager on the sidelines. European football's gnarly. But of course they picked Josie to come on to the stage, and I love that the audience in London was booing the entire time. It was great.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, they were and Jose Mourinho and Pep Guardiola, and of course everybody has their own allegiances, and most of those were London fans, right? In London, and they're and the Manchester clubs and Liverpool, and it was boo.
Yeah, so Kat was actually there at the show.
I was, yes, and
I was here actually in our hotel room covering the show.
Yes. So, in terms of sports, poor NHL didn't even get a shout-out.
Not a one.
Madden, they focused on esports. That was a weird thing to focus on, because Madden's not an esport. I'm sorry, it's not.
I mean, it must be. They said they had 8,000? A lot of players.
Sure,
and
of
now
course they have players, but...
have 8 finalists, one of which that they did the video on broke his collarbone because he didn't have his shoes tied. So, I don't know what's up with that. But they looked super excited to play some Madden.
They looked like sports gamer bros, to be honest. No, yes, there will always be people who are interested in playing Madden competitively, but will people watch it? It's actually pretty boring to watch because the people at the highest levels just spam the same plays over and over again.
Right.
And EA was like, we put $1 million into this pot, and I'm like, oh, Dota 2 thinks that's really cute.
Yeah, they don't have any of the little Dota 2 invitational packs that you can buy to bring that cash pot much higher. But yeah, there was Madden, there was FIFA, with its new The Journey.
Yeah, which is the story mode.
It's faux sports film digital mode thing.
It could be good.
It could be good.
It could be really bad.
It could also, because what was Spike Lee?
Spike Lee's, yes.
Spike Lee's NBA
Living
2K?
the Dream.
Yes, Living the Dream.
Oh my god, it was so It was so cheesy. Oh god, it was awful. And I think the biggest problem with that, and I kind of alluded to this in my article on the site, was that it focused too much on your fake family that I didn't care about, and not as much on the interactions with the real players and the real managers and stuff, which is kind of what I would want out of an experience like that.
Right.
Here's my character, and oh look, Jose Mourinho's my boss now, and he's like giving me a stern talking to in the manager's office. I see that they're playing up the drama. It looks like he was like getting the fisticuffs with Wayne Rooney in the manager's office and everything. And so I'm like, okay, this could be pretty cheesy, but we'll see.
Yeah, it looks like a digital version of like Ballers or something like that.
No, right? Yeah, and that's the thing. I think NBA 2K actually probably nailed it, where they had an arc last year where you are a rookie coming in and you don't get drafted, and so you have to work your way onto a team, and then you have an NBA player take you on and mentor you, and then at the end of the year you choose like to be a free agent, go to another team.
Oh, I thought you were going to be like, at the end of the year your mentor dies and passes the torch on to you, and you become the greatest NBA player ever.
R.I.P. Anyway, moving on from sports, because I'm sure our audience is like, please God, you've spent way too much time on sports. So they opened with Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2, which is Titanfall 1
with the story
mode this time.
I like that Vince Campello was like, as everybody knows, as it was leaked earlier, there will be a story mode in Titanfall 2, and everybody goes, we didn't need a leak to know that, dude.
No. Yeah, so the story mode is between your faceless grunt and his Titan, which sounds like everyone has been saying, sounds like Optimus Prime. Apparently, and I completely missed this in the first game, the Titans are sentient. Somewhat.
I totally missed that when I was like calling it down and they were squishing people.
Yeah, so it's the story of a boy and his dog, except his dog is a giant mech that can destroy other people's lives and dreams. And it will probably, much like the NBA story mode, die at the end.
Oh my god, stop! That's so depressing. So it's like the animal from Last Guardian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the end it will die.
It would... Because Team Ico hates joy.
Yes.
Absolutely hates joy.
So what you're saying is the mech will be like, I love you.
And then it will just shut down, like fall into like lava or something with the Terminator 2 thumbs up. But I played it, and it is fun. Mm-hmm. And but honestly, the easiest way to describe it is it's Titanfall 1 with some new moves. So pilots are expanded, you got zip lines and grappling hooks and new extra moves, but otherwise I pretty much fell into playing it with the same muscle memory that I had from Titanfall 1. So if you enjoyed that, you will probably enjoy this.
By the way, I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Hope you're having a good morning. Looking forward to Microsoft in about 45 minutes. By the way, Jeremy is at the show, and I will be writing about it. You can follow us over on our stream over on US Gamer. But the chat was commenting that basically it's either Mega Man and Rush or Iron Giant.
I'm going to go with the Iron Giant. I think that the Titan will fly away with the nuke saying Superman. and our dude bro military guy will shed a single tear, and then grow up into an adult.
Aww. So this is what I'll say about Titanfall 2. I played the original Titanfall. I enjoyed it initially out of the gate. I thought the multiplayer was pretty compelling, but I don't know, I lost the thread a little bit.
It felt, the play, and I think for a lot of people, the play fell off really quickly. And right now everyone's playing Overwatch, and I wonder if that is going to have the same fall off. I personally think Overwatch will last a little bit longer, because the different heroes have a deeper experience. But yeah, Titanfall was great, and Jazz and I reviewed it.
Yeah.
And I absolutely stand by the review, but yeah, it was just like, yes, moving on.
But I don't think a story mode would have saved it, is the thing. Because the original had this arc, right, to every match, where like everybody starts out, they're running around doing things, and then you hit a certain point and the Titans start coming in. Right. And then the Titans fight, and then the match ends with some people in Titans and some people like running around.
Right.
And there are compelling moments in each one, but the overall arc started to get repetitive really fast.
Yeah, and they're hoping, I guess, new Titans and different loadouts will help with that.
I mean, they had that stuff in the original too. Remember, you had multiple types of Titans. You had multiple loadouts. You unlocked stuff as you went.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, aside from the Titans, like the real thing that was fun about it was like being able to wall run and like be extremely mobile.
Which is still there. It all still works exactly like it worked before. And the multiplayer mode I played was a bounty mode, so it would pick a player and Titan and say kill them. I would just like you to know, U.S. gamers, that I was number one score-wise in my match because I am the best.
Nice. See, you're like the best that there ever was.
One day I'll take a mint tea and pass it on, and then I'll die.
The last thing I'll say about Titanfall is that I think it was also hurt by the fact that right out of the gate, the Xbox One, it was an Xbox One exclusive.
Right.
And on PC. And on 360. So it came out early on, right, on that generation's life cycle.
360, wow.
Yeah, there was a 360 version because EA insisted upon it. And the 360 version was inferior, but that was actually the best-selling version because people hadn't upgraded yet.
Yeah, people actually had the system. And
it wasn't helped by the fact that the PC version was better than the Xbox One version by a fair margin right out of the gate.
Yeah.
So this time around, it's going to be on PS4 and Xbox One. It's going to be on PC.
There are 30 million PS4s out there, so good on them, because if it was on Xbox One only.
So if Titanfall is going to catch fire, like, at all, I think now is the time. We'll see if it ends up just being too similar to COD and everything. But
and it's coming in that actual melange of October now.
Yeah.
Which, in fact, EA is releasing earlier that October. So Titanfall 2 is October 28th. Earlier that October will be Battlefield 1.
Battlefield 1, yeah, I'm all in. Let's do this thing. You can fly a blimp. Did you see that you can fly a Zeppelin?
I saw, but I don't. So everyone saw Battlefield 1 and got super excited. I actually went in the opposite direction from most of the community, and the farther in the future a game goes, the more I get excited. So Battlefield 1 hit me with a dull thud, but I know you're excited about it because World War One.
Okay, so full disclosure, I'm a bit of a World War One nerd. If you ever want some really good World War One literature, try reading Guns of August. And it really gives lie to this idea that World War One was just all trench warfare and blood and guts and everything. I mean, it was a good chunk of it, but the first month was like one of the most amazing like periods in human history because it ushered out a previous age and ushered in a new one. And Battlefield 1 is kind of like going with that. They acknowledge that. They go, yeah, this was a period where you had cavalry charges into machine gun nests. where people were waving swords still and still wearing 19th century outfits.
And capes.
And capes
and
stuff.
Capes.
But then they were wearing, gas masks and all that.
Right.
Now, the period that they're capturing, which is clearly 1918, which is the end of the war, kind of had moved away from that at that point. Like, by that point, the French had given up their, old 19th century uniforms and gone for something a little more functional. Everybody was wearing gas masks and all that. But the cavalry charges were kind of a thing of the past, because they realized that cavalry didn't really have, people on horseback did not have as much of a use. Because I'm not going to get into it. But I must not get into World War I nerd mode.
So the dude on the cover, is that a mace or is it a grenade?
I think that's a grenade. No, that's a mace, because he totally has a mace.
Yeah, it's like a big spiked thing.
Yeah.
And the cover looks cool.
It does.
But what are they?
But by the way,
they have.
Did I mention that you can fly a Zeppelin?
Yeah.
And then when the Zeppelin gets shot down, it goes all Hindenburg on the battlefield.
You have Zeppelins, battleships, and armored trains. These are the Behemoth class vehicles.
Yeah.
Which can really change the tide of battle. It's a 64-player multiplayer mode, and
they didn't show anything at the event. They didn't even show gameplay. They just showed a trailer.
Yeah, no, and then the big thing is dynamic weather also, which will actually supposedly change the force of battle.
Yeah.
You'll have to, I guess if it's raining, maybe you're not going to take a horse because it'll sink in the mud or something like that. But that is hopefully the idea. But it looks interesting. It looks like they're trying to do something new.
So I'm a Battlefield fan. Going back to Battlefield 1943, not 1942, so I guess I'm not hardcore or whatever. But I am a Battlefield person. Right. But the last couple entries, not been so great. Battlefield 4 in particular really stumbled out of the gate because it had real latency problems, had cheating issues, if I recall correctly. And it was buggy. It was just buggy as all get out, and you couldn't get into games. It was really problematic. Okay. And so it got bad word of mouth, just right away, and it never really seemed to recover. And I think Battlefield 1 has a real chance of outdoing Call of Duty this year in terms of sales.
So?
I do, because I think Call of Duty really miscalculated and really misread their fan base in going for future. And Battlefield 1 just, it feels fresh. It pops. The way that you're flying around in biplanes and, you're wearing cool gas masks, has almost a steampunk look to it. And people have been kind of jonesing for a return to historical warfare. This is so in Battlefield's wheelhouse with the big tanks and the battleships and everything. The main thing is, if it can get really good word of mouth out of the gate, I think it will. If it stumbles again, which this is DICE, and DICE never seems to be able to have a good launch, then, let's say people just can't get into games or just people are immediately killing it online, then I think it will be the same old story. Yeah. But for now, it looks really promising, and, I was kind of out on Battlefield, especially after Hardline, which...
Yeah, I didn't even want to try to get into.
Don't bring up Hardline. Yeah, I'm back in. I'm back in. I just wish they had shown me something. But I get to go play some Battlefield today.
She gets to play a lot.
I get to play a lot of Battlefield
today, and she's going to record it, so you get to see Kat playing Battlefield at some point.
All right. Final thoughts on EA?
EA's conference was everything that you expected it would be. There were no surprises, with the exception of the EA Originals program, which is EA's, hey, we're not just a big AAA corporate soulless giant, we also love indies. And it's definitely, from what it sounds like, since all of the profits go to the indies and EA will fund it, just sort of almost like a charity. Like an indie charity. But otherwise it was, hey, we're making Star Wars games, Battlefield 1, Titanfall, sports games, and we're out.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, that's just EA for you.
Yeah.
A lot of flash, not a lot of substance.
Yeah, Mass Effect was still just a trailer. And
we didn't even talk about Andromeda because there wasn't a lot to talk about.
There wasn't anything. It was a trailer, and then they're like, we'll talk more about it in the fall. And it's just like, what? There was no Need for Speed because Need for Speed is missing the next year.
Yeah, Need for Speed's dead.
Criterion, they had their game shown, 2 E3s ago? And that's gone. So,
but hey, the sports games look good.
I mean, they always look good.
All right, let's move on from EA. Continuing on. Oh, and before we continue, right from the chat, people are talking about how they're having a hard time imagining me as an FPS player. But as someone rightly pointed out, I was killing it in Overwatch on the stream with you guys.
Kat's a Bastion player.
Sometimes.
No, she's actually really good.
I'm not only a Bastion player. I play a bunch of players. I was playing the other night, though, and I was playing a mix of Bastion and D.Va. 45 eliminations. 45. That's right, 45.
I actually haven't gotten... I think the highest I've gotten is like 35. So Kat's beating me by 10.
It helps that the other team just kept walking right into my line of fire. I was like, just mowed them down. Like World War One. It all comes back around. So you can all be bastions in a trench while enemy players attack you. Battlefield 1, everybody.
That doesn't sound exciting.
All right, moving on to Bethesda, which was last night. It was actually interesting. So it was actually in East LA, right? They bust you out there.
Okay.
I actually had to go to an appointment that lasted until 6 p.m. And then I hopped into an Uber. This is like peak E3 for me.
Mm-hmm.
I get out of the appointment like early, grab an Uber, which takes about 13 minutes to get to where the site of the Bethesda thing is.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get to the Bethesda thing, and it's just a line around the block. It was insane. Because they let in the fans, too. It's not just press.
They let in the fans, especially one fan who will live on in infamy.
Screaming Bethesda lady.
Screaming Bethesda lady who just was hyped about everything.
I mean, hey, I admire her enthusiasm. My cold, cynical heart doesn't have that as much enthusiasm anymore, but she was just all in on everything.
Yeah, and I mean, if that's what you're gonna do, if you're watching from us to you right now and you're screaming in your office or your home, good on you, and good on you, screaming Bethesda lady.
Good on you, screaming USG fan, whoever you might be.
Yeah, I mean, if that's your thing, but probably Dishonored 2, we knew was coming, but looked very good.
Yep. I thought that pretty much everything they showed looked really good.
Yeah.
So it opened with Quake, which I think that it could not be more perfect timing for them to come back around. After Doom really got a lot of very positive word of mouth.
Right, and Quake, it looks to be Doom more focused on the single player, Quake more focused on the multiplayer. The problem with Quake Champions is that it went from everyone was like, yay, Quake, Rocket Jump, and then it was like, we're working with Saber Interactive, and the excitement fell off a cliff.
To give me context, Saber Interactive.
Oh God, I'm trying to think of. I was just writing about this. Their games are not good.
Okay.
They have
what
not.
What have they worked on in the past?
I'm trying to think. See, and I have to search. I would have to search.
Okay.
And in fact, I think that's what I will do, because
Mike's doing this is good TV, everybody. In any case, Saber Interactive probably not good. I think Quake can be good in the sense of being classic old school multiplayer, which I think is a lot of what people want, maybe. I don't think that they're going to run into the Overwatch buzzsaw, because Overwatch is very much its own thing. And it will certainly differentiate itself from Doom and all that. I think it just is a matter of it being good. Okay, so you looked it up.
So Saber Interactive, Time Shift, people probably remember Inversion, RIPD the game.
Inversion.
And they helped Microsoft with Halo: The Master Chief Collection.
Ooh.
So it is just
Well, okay. Can I just say about the Halo Master Chief Collection? I think overall it was very good, but the online was awful.
Horrible.
In the sense of, but I blame the Xbox more for that, because the infrastructure on that thing is garbage. I mean, I speak as somebody who suffered through a Madden League on that thing. Oh my god, the connection issues on the Xbox One are just legend. It's ridiculous. So I almost feel like they actually crafted a really terrific collection. They just got screwed by the Xbox One. So
and it may be, maybe let's be charitable. This may be the game that saves Saber Interactive. This may be the game that makes them super awesome. But yeah, the online excitement literally went for like 15 minutes of like, yeah, Quake, to Saber, what? No.
So were you on the Quake train back in the late 90s?
I to be honest, in the great Quake Unreal Wars, I am in Unreal Tournament. So I've played.
I was Unreal Tournament team as well. Yeah. That was the game that the thing was that I didn't have a computer that could really play Quake at the time. Mm-hmm. So everybody was on Quake, and I was busy playing TIE Fighter, because money was also a thing at the time. Right. But then when I was in high school, Unreal Tournament came out, and so I was like, oh yeah, sweet. So I played that one, and had many good times. That was, I don't want to call it it was one of those first examples of a really polished for the time multiplayer FPS that just felt really good to play. Mm-hmm. It was like really fast paced. Yeah. It was such a blast. So
so I think Quake Champions, if it's good, will hit right in that sweet spot.
The thing is that Bethesda's been more or less like knocking it out of the park with all of their FPS revivals.
I was about to say, a lot of FPS games coming from Bethesda, which is weird if you go back a couple of years. Yeah.
They got id Software. I mean, might as well capitalize on what they do, which is FPSs.
Yeah, no, if you go back a couple of years, like, before they got id, like, you would have never, if you had said, oh, Bethesda's going to be full-on FPS, like Wolfenstein, they got Doom, they got Prey, and Dishonored.
Yeah, no, that's true, right? But, I mean, if you think about it, Overwatch, the Elder Scrolls games, and now Fallout. Yeah. I mean, those are first-person games. Fallout's technically a first-person shooter.
That's true.
I mean, I think first-person actually fits in really well with Bethesda's overall look. But let's talk really quickly about Prey, which was a surprise.
Yeah. Was it? I mean, I expected it to come.
Okay. Okay. I was surprised.
The weird thing about Prey is that Prey was a reboot, remake. It's not a reboot or a remake. It is Prey, but it is like a new game. It's so there was one Prey, and then this game that they'd been making was Prey 2. That had starts and stops. Mm-hmm. Human Head Studios was working on it. Then Arcane was working on it. Mm-hmm. And then we didn't hear about it. And then Pete Hines said it was canceled.
And by canceled, they mean rebooted it.
Yeah, and they rebooted it. So there was a Prey, and now there is another Prey that is not a reboot or remake or seemingly related to
Did you play the original Prey? Weren't you playing as like a Native American fighting aliens?
Yes.
Am I wrong for remembering that?
No, you are absolutely correct. You are
okay. This doesn't look like that.
This is nothing like that at all.
This looks like Groundhog Day in space, maybe with a smidge of Brazil or something, where you're being experimented
by Chris Avellone.
I mean, Chris Avellone, if you're not familiar with him, done a lot of Obsidian RPGs. Mm-hmm. He departed Obsidian not too long ago.
Yeah.
So he's with Bethesda now. Good writer, for the most part. I really respect his work, so maybe they've got something really interesting coming out of this. But all we got was a teaser trailer, so it's hard to say.
Teaser trailer, and it's like it has the name Prey, but Prey doesn't mean anything yet. So they pretty much have to redefine what Prey as a brand is.
Maybe he escapes and they're chasing him and he's the prey.
I don't even know.
Maybe they're just like, well, we got this generic name Prey, which could really mean anything. So we'll just roll with it.
Yeah. So
I mean, what they showed was somewhat. Well, it was compelling.
Yeah, no, it looked pretty good. But yes, as Redo pointed out, it's pretty much they had the license, and they had been working on something called Prey for a while, and damn it, we're going to do something with the license. So,
damn it.
So that is what happened. And then there was Dishonored 2.
Dishonored 2, which, so I tweeted this. My weakness is that action games just don't do a lot for me anymore. Like, just pure action games. Just because, I don't know, like, they just don't pop for me anymore. Maybe because I feel like I've played them so much, or they feel so heavily scripted that it's like, it doesn't feel organic or natural anymore to me. I'm on a roller coaster, which is fine, but I know that you're big into action games, and especially these kind of more free-flowing games where you have a lot of creativity, so I'm interested to hear your thoughts on Dishonored 2.
I'm pretty excited. I enjoy open world games. I enjoy action games with a lot of creativity to them. Hitman recently has been, for Bob and I, Bob is reviewing it and I've been playing it alongside. I've reviewed the first episode. Was knock out of the park. Just an amazing game. And Dishonored 2 looks to have that same feel, like craft your character and here's an objective and there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can complete that objective, which is a lot of people don't really think about the fact that that's really hard to design, to give a player that much choice and freeform skill. And so we have Dishonored 2, and a game I played and previewed earlier a couple weeks ago, Deus Ex, Mankind Divided, which are both in that same vein. Like, here's your objective. However you want to get there is up to you. Dishonored, at least from what I've seen, looks to be a little bit more open in its environments than Mankind Divided, but I think they'll both be pretty excellent games. Yeah,
I think so. One of my barometers for whether or not an action game is good is if Bob likes it, actually. Aside from the fact that I generally respect Bob's opinion on a thing, if he gets into an action game, it must be really good, because he's not normally the kind of person to like fall head over heels for it. He's much more like, kind of like me. Like, he likes RPGs, he likes the more thoughtful, considered stuff. He likes puzzle games, adventure games. Yeah. So when an adventure game really gets its hooks in, or an action game really gets its hooks into him, I like sit up and pay attention. And
like Overwatch.
Like Overwatch. He's not an FPS guy, but he adores Overwatch. And Dishonored. He adored Dishonored, and he apparently finished it without getting any kill. He did a no-kill run. He did a no-kill run, which, hey, respect and everything.
Which is wrong. 0 kills? No. Kill everyone.
Oh, okay.
Because, especially in these games, realize all of those people that you're leaving are part of the system. They're part of the man trying to bring you down. Revolution! No. I pretty much play stealth games as I kill everybody.
Well, that's what inevitably happens to me. Like, I was playing MGS5 last year, and what would always happen is I'd be like, alright, I need to get into the space, and I'm sneaking, and I'm like tranquilizing these guys, and I'm doing okay, and one guy spots me, and I'm like, screw it. And then so many dead bodies all over the place.
You have to kill everyone.
Yes, well, now you all have to die.
Yeah, and they showed in the trailer lots of different ways to kill people, like grabbing them with your shadow self.
Yeah, no, that was interesting. You know what it kind of made me think of? The Darkness?
It did. And you know what else made me think of The Darkness?
Prey. I was like going, what's... Oh, his hands are all messed up. Is this The Darkness? Are we doing The Darkness 3?
Yeah, so, a lot of games sometimes feel similar, but they'll be hopefully very different games, because we don't know a lot about Prey.
No, we don't know anything about Prey. But Dishonored 2, I think the thing that is compelling to me, at least, is that you can approach a problem like with so many different ways. Mitch Dyer, who used to work for IGN, was tweeting that Arcane is like god tier in terms of level design. Because he said that as he was watching the stream, he could see like a half dozen ways to tackle a problem just watching the video. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? And that's like awesome. Mm-hmm. And it takes like for whatever reason, people just really love this whole notion of sneaking in somewhere and like assassinating someone. It was like one of the most popular quest lines in Skyrim, for example. Yeah. Was like, and of course you love Assassin's Creed and
Assassin's Creed, Splinter Cell, God Rest its soul.
Yeah, exactly.
Hitman.
Yep. Now Hitman. So, Dishonored 2, like very much in that vein, and it looks cool, I suppose. And of course, the steampunk world is
steampunk, and now you're playing a lady. I was about to say
you could be a lady. You can be a lady, or you can be her royal protector.
Right.
And you're taking back what's yours.
Yes, because she was the little girl from the first game. Mm-hmm. So, yay! That is cool, and the game looks trippy, and it's fun, and. Actually, I was about to say, and I'll probably review it, but no, Bob will probably take that review from me.
Shocking. I mean, we'll see. You're like really good at ninjing games away on the review tracker, because you're the one who actually pays attention to it. I'll be like, oh, review game's coming around. Oh, I wonder who's reviewing it. Mike, of course.
So we have to explain a spreadsheet with all of the games on it in a calendar. And basically, what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to go on the spreadsheet, and if there's not a name beside a game, you put your name there if you want to review it.
And Mike actually does that.
And I actually always have the review tracker open, so when new games are added, I can put my name, which is how I ninja'd Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Good job. That's okay, I'm reviewing Grand Kingdom right now.
Yeah. So, that is how I end up getting all of the prime review games that I want to play.
Well, good job, good on ya. But so the last thing for Bethesda I'm going to say is Fallout 4 DLC. More DLC. I am so pumped to have armor and weapon racks for my. I think somebody referred to it on YouTube as my Barbie castle.
It's about time.
It's about time. Yeah. God, oh, and the fact that you can make your own vaults and experiment on settlers, I'm like, how's that not out of the box?
The weapon racks and the vault thing really felt like, those were things that you really wanted to put like in the game.
Yeah.
That you just didn't have
have time
before it launched.
Yeah.
So.
And then the last piece of DLC after that, which looks pretty meaty, Nuka World, which is an amusement park. So I think that'll probably be the story DLC. Mm. Like there'll be a quest. I don't know if I'll actually do that one because I'm about ready to wrap up Fallout 4. But the nice thing is the weapon racks and armored rack stuff comes out next week, which will be right when I get home from E3. Yes.
Yeah. So next week we're all going to be dead.
Yeah.
So every article is going to be mindless. Mm-hmm. First thing that came to my head as soon as I said mindless was self-indulgence. So is just going to be mindless dribble. So we'll do our best to provide thought-provoking impressions and content.
Are you saying that the past 45 minutes hasn't been mindless dribble?
No, it's been beautiful. Everything we've said here is erudite. It's beautiful. It should be written down as Shakespeare. If you're not transcribing it for us, you really should be.
How you know that it's like 8:30 in the morning or 9 in the morning and I've had too much coffee is we're saying things like this. But also Skyrim Enhanced Edition, which I suppose makes sense, but for the 5 people who haven't played Skyrim yet.
I mean, it's going to make money, but it's I'm not seeing so much the point of the PC version.
No.
The Xbox One and PS4 versions make a lot of sense.
For sure.
And the PC version more just seems like, we'll have to add that stuff back. And Todd Howard actually said at the show afterwards, if you've bought Skyrim for PC and all 3 of the DLC packs.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't explained how, but you're going to get Definitive Edition for free.
Okay.
So if you have actually kept up with Skyrim, they'll just give you all the Definitive Edition stuff for free, which is, for PC players, just more a couple of improved texture packs and some other stuff like that. Maybe improved lighting. But really, Skyrim Definitive Edition is Skyrim for PS4 and Xbox One.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. And I thought briefly, I was like, well, am I going to play Skyrim again? I'm going to put like 80, 90 hours into this game. And then I was like, no, because those games aren't a game that you just start over and play through again, unless you're a crazy person. My apologies to all the crazy people who are like going, I'm not crazy, you are crazy, but...
And it's going to be interesting because people probably don't remember, because Skyrim was so long ago for me mentally. The PS3 version of Skyrim was plagued with bugs, memory leaks,
so much,
and save game corruption, and I don't think they ever fixed it. I don't think they ever fixed it. So
I don't know. Like the PC version became the default version after that, like after 2011, and that's how it's been ever since. People are still playing it. The mod community is strong with that one.
Yeah. So I hopefully this will be better. I mean, Fallout 4's launch on consoles wasn't bad at all.
It was typical Bethesda.
Bethesda buggy.
Yeah.
But not
it wasn't
rampant memory leaks.
It wasn't Skyrim
unplayable. Right.
Yeah.
So hopefully this should be fine. And we sort of I wrote the rumor column on our site before we came here, and it was kind of something that we expected to see, because when they were doing Fallout 4 for consoles, they said, yeah, we ported Skyrim over in preparation for Fallout 4 for consoles because they use the same engine. So it was kind of like well, if you've done it, obviously you're gonna release it for that for some money.
By the way, people on the stream are agreeing with me in saying that that it is indeed true. People who do play Skyrim twice are crazy. So.
Oh man, Skyrim players.
Don't look at me like that.
I enjoy Skyrim. I got lost, but I never finished Skyrim. That's one of those games where main plot.
Yeah. All right. Overall thoughts on Bethesda?
Surprisingly satisfying.
Surprisingly satisfying.
Surprisingly satisfying. The only thing I really missed was Wolfenstein, which was rumored, and they did tease something called the New Colossus, which is probably a second Wolfenstein game. But it was pretty satisfying conference.
Yeah, Bethesda knows how to put on a good show, and I think the coolest thing afterward was after you got out of the auditorium. They had a separate convention center floor set up.
Oh.
It was almost like you were walking into a tiny E3 that they had set up to the side that was all Bethesda. They had the VR thing with Fallout 4, which I'm stay away, I don't want to vomit all over everybody. And they had various stations, and it was almost like a carnival because you could do things like get caricatures from people for some reason and stuff like that. And they had turkey sticks and free beer. They had an open bar.
Oh, wow. For
everyone?
Yeah,
for everyone. So it was wow, so if you got into that Bethesda event, not only did you get a great show, but you could go and get free booze.
Yeah.
Granted, it was Stella, but whatever.
Yeah, we knew about the turkey legs because, again, there was another fan that was on their review show. Was just sitting there eating a turkey leg right behind them. So they actually, for a later review with Todd Howard, moved the guardrail back so as to prevent more fans from doing the same.
Indeed. So we have about 5 minutes to go because the Microsoft conference kicks off in about 10 minutes.
And we want you to watch it because we all want to see.
Just a reminder, you can watch the conference on our site, and I will be updating our feed with all the news that's coming in.
Yep.
So you can find all of the conference recaps on the site along with our continuing E3 coverage.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what Microsoft has. They've already leaked, if you haven't seen it out there, There's been a ton of leaks from E3. It's the new theme. The Xbox One S, which is a slim, smaller Xbox One. They say 40% smaller. It's white, which is interesting.
Yeah. Going back to the white.
Yeah, but it looks cute. It's not like tiny, but
Xbox One has a lot more fundamental problems than the size of the thing.
It. Yeah.
Starting with that god awful UI. I'm sorry, but the UI just makes me dread turning that damn thing on.
My problem with the Xbox One is not even really a problem. It's more of a problem for Microsoft, is that it's my media box. I use it because Kinect is very useful for controlling media. So I say Xbox on, Xbox watch TV. Like
you actually use the Kinect? I mean, oh my god, you use it the way Microsoft intended.
Yeah, so
look at you.
Like when I'm watching something on the TV, I say, and I get up to go to the kitchen, I say Xbox mute. And then when I come back, I say Xbox unmute. The problem is I don't play games on it.
Yeah, Microsoft's first and worst assumption was that people still watch TV. And it kind of went from there. But enough slagging on Microsoft. Actone Kitten said, spoiler alert, there will be a lot of green. So, I mean, that's a thing that we can expect. But, I mean, there will be Gears of War 4.
Gears of War, Recore, Crackdown. We should be seeing Crackdown.
Oh, Jeremy is all in on Crackdown.
Yeah, probably more Killer Instinct. Forza Horizon 3 at this point. We're right in the time for more Forza Horizon.
Now we're in Jazz's wheelhouse right here. Jazz just felt a disturbance in the force. I think he's on a flight in right now.
He should be coming in today.
So he was probably sitting on a plane and went, Forza Horizon. Somebody said it. Somebody in the U.S. Gamer staff. I have to get there now.
And then I'm keeping the dream alive for Phantom Dust, which is probably not coming back now that it's canceled.
What's Phantom Dust again?
Phantom Dust was a game that they did for the original Xbox, and it was kind of like a CCG, but also a third-person action arena game at the same time. It was just so unique, and there's been no other game like it. So Microsoft announced it, and then they were like, the studios that we had working on it wasn't up to snuff, so we canceled it, which killed that studio. I forget which studio it was. And so now that's gone. But one day I can hope and I can dream that I'll be back.
And the Sony conference is later tonight.
Oh, Scalebound.
Scalebound.
Thank you, Kunino.
Yes, exactly. Scalebound, of course. Later tonight is the Sony press conference. Any high expectations for that?
I don't actually know what I'm going to expect from.
I mean, they'll show the PS 4.5. There'll be a lot of PlayStation VR.
Well, they said they wouldn't.
Right. It's not going to be at E3.
Yeah.
But they confirmed it.
They confirmed it. They were like, it is a real thing that is happening, but we're not showing it at E3. Probably because developers, I believe when we started actually hearing most of the rumors and leaks is probably when developers got their hands on it.
Yeah.
So I don't think developers have really had a chance to really look into the system to see what it can do for them.
We all know that they're just going to release another SKU of the PSVR next year alongside the Neo.
Yeah.
So that'll be a thing.
But yeah, it's probably going to be a lot of PSVR.
Last Guardian.
Last Guardian.
Which I'm like No Man's Sky, both of which I'm actually pretty excited for now.
Yeah, No Man's Sky. Hopefully I get to...
I'm so ready for Last Guardian. Like, just give it to me. I'm ready for, like, my best, like, mechs dying, like, my animal friend dragon pet dying.
Yeah, but I don't think... Well, they could surprise me. I don't think they're going to match last year's press conference.
I mean, how could you? I mean, Final Fantasy VII Remake, but...
yeah, and Shenmue 3, and it was just, like, hit after hit, and I was just like, It'd be nice if they had the Final Fantasy VII, like, if they gave us another update on its progress. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if they brought out Square Enix again and did a Final Fantasy 15 bit. Yeah.
They'll do Call of Duty. Like, Call of Duty seems to be a Sony thing now.
Infinite Warfare,
yeah. I would Yeah, so I'd like them, like, maybe do Final Fantasy 15 and then be like, oh, and here comes Kitase to give us an update on Final Fantasy 7. We are still making it. Here's a new sizzle reel. All right, bye.
Our Hashimoto is going to come out and just laugh at us again. FF12 of the Zodiac Age, probably.
Ooh, no.
You don't think so?
No, that'll be just purely in the Square Enix booth.
Okay.
It's just not big enough to warrant being. Maybe it might be in a sizzle reel.
Sizzle reel.
Yeah. So I don't see it actually be on the stage proper.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure they'll have a couple of games to show us. So.
Horizon Zero Dawn again.
Oh God. All the good games have been. All the games have been delayed, and all the good games have been delayed till next year. I mean, there will be good games this year. Don't get me wrong. It's just. All the games I really want to play, like Horizon Zero Dawn and Persona 5 and Zelda, all next year, 2017. So.
Yeah, and then I have Ubisoft today.
Oh yeah, those are people.
Those are people that do games. They do games as well.
Are you looking forward to? Are you looking forward to Watch Dogs 2?
I will say yes. I actually attended an Ubisoft event last night that I can't talk about yet. So, the magical world of
E3, where you're embargoed for some reason, even though you're at an event. All right, so we're out of time. Microsoft press conference is in 5 minutes. You can watch it over on our site or wherever you're going to watch it. Jeremy will be covering it. I'm sure there'll be lots of snarky tweets going out from me. And you can find me at _Catbot. You can find Mike at Automatic Zen. If you want to watch the full archive version of this, it'll be on YouTube in relatively short order. We'll be back tomorrow morning,
right?
Bright and early, 8:30 a.m. I believe Pacific, 11:30 a.m. Eastern, to recap all of Microsoft and Sony's press conferences,
right,
and look ahead to the day ahead as we head into our first real day of E3.
Real day of E3.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
No, it's exciting. E3 is very exciting. It's just tiring.
But thanks so much for dropping by.
Thank you.
We really appreciate hanging out with you here, and keep following all of our coverage on US Gamer. But until then, I've been Kat Bailey. That's been Mike Williams. Thanks for dropping by. Remember to rate and subscribe us on Twitch and on YouTube, and we'll be seeing you on the show floor. Adios.
Goodbye.